I'm going to mine that for parts. Actually, let me do a couple other little weird things. These won't make a ton of sense right now, but. Hi. So that was oh, did it crash? It didn't crash, did it? So that's, that's as good as it gets for me. I play a little bit better than that, but not much better. So that's that's what I can get out of my performance for now. So what if you're recording a drummer who's only been playing for a year? Did it crash? Then I haven't been playing for a year. So you've got basically these tracks of like what you can do in Pro Tools is that's different from Ableton is following. A lot of things. Very different kind of software. In Pro Tools, you've got multi-tracks, first of all. So on every individual track, let me just slide this out here so you can see it better. On every individual track, you've got multiple playlists. So I can take these tracks I just did. This is the thing you don't do in Ableton. And I can make them, well, why do we have, go to 11 already? It goes to 11 immediately. So it's starting the count at 11. I don't know why it's doing that. I guess I had 10 on something here. One of these has 10 playlists. That's fun. Oh, no, it was because these two guys were on 10. Hang on. Let me just rename them. And then it won't do that. Drums are tricky. I just got a question from a friend the other day about recording drums. This isn't about the playing. This is about the recording. So the recording of drums, you've got all these tracks, right? You've got all this stuff. You're taking in a ton of information. I usually try and do this is the smallest, maybe not exactly the most minimal, but this is a minimal rock kit. So there's a microphone on the kick. There's a microphone on the top of the snare and the bottom of the snare. On the hi-hat, stereo for overhead. So that's 2 for overhead, 1 on each tom. Then there's, on this one, I've got a stereo pair in the room, kind of like about 10 feet back from the kit. And then I've got a mono that's right on the kit. And then I've got this one stereo mic that's way in the back. Any drum recording you've ever heard on a live record has a lot of different, usually has a lot of different microphones, a lot of different tracks of audio that the mixer is then balancing and affecting to make the drum sound. So for example, let's just listen to this for a second. So let's say this is our drum sound, right? Let me show you what each individual thing is actually doing though. So here's just the microphone that's on the kick. Just on the snare. Oh, that's me doing a weird thing with the hi-hat there. What's going on with that? This is also the difference between knowing what you're going to play before you go in, and like knowing a thing, rehearsing it, coming in and playing, versus like I don't know what I'm going to play and just screwing around until you find something you like. So what we're going to try and do is find at one or two loops that we like. Out of all the stuff I played, I'm going to find 2 loops that I like and clean those up and loop those in the song. So here's just the mic that's on the snare. Here's the mic on the bottom of the snare. Here's the mic on the hi-hat, which is actually should be panned this way. Overhead, over top of the drums. The toms don't matter for now. The room. Okay. The one that's further back in the room. And the really smashy one, which is actually a vocal mic that I just put on the kit for like texture. They're all different types of microphones, run through, in most cases, different gear. It's very complicated. It is a deck of cards, it is a house of cards when it comes to putting a nice drum sound together. You notice that some of them are panned really wide. The overheads, I don't pan them as wide as the room. Sometimes I take the room tracks, I pan them less, so on. So here we go. We're going to start with something kind of like this. Okay, I'm going to start there. And again, I'm going to find one spot, one loop. I'm going to treat it like a loop off of a record and find one spot where I go, oh, I like that playing. I'm going to clean that up and use that as the thing. Okay? I think there's a crash right here. That's good. I don't like how I came in there. Like that. Okay. Well, my mouse is acting weird. So I'm going to do that. I also liked, where was that little hi-hat bit? That. Okay. So on this one, on this one, I'm going to treat it like a like a drum loop. Okay? So I'm going to take all these tracks. I'm going to, let's see how I can do it so you can see it. Track. Oh, I can't even, I just do quick keys. Command, Control, slash. This is quick key for the thing. So I'm taking that out. I'm taking this out. I'm removing all this stuff. Just going to use this little bit right here. Probably use this. Probably use that crash. It's likely. There was also an entrance. What did I do over here? No. Yeah, that little guy is nice. That was not nice. Maybe. I don't know. Let's do that. One of those and one of those. Okay. So these are all our parts. That's all we're going to do. If I need anything else, I can come back into the playlist that I just made. So these are the only parts I'm going to use. It's just a couple things. So I'll show you just these couple bits. That's all I'm going to use. This was the playlist that they came from here with all this stuff. Just narrowed it down to these couple things. On hybrid theory, one of the things that was important to me when we were tracking our drums is to choose when to treat drums like a loop and make them tight and chop them up versus using the drums like a live drummer and try and leave them alone and don't chop them up. Chopping them up means A, finding a great pattern, a great performance bit and using it as a sample and repeating it. And then the other part of that is maybe you want to take that thing and put it really on the grid, really take it and make it more tight. In my case, not being a very tight drummer, I'm going to do that to this performance. There's a thing called Beat Detective. You can go in, you grab your clip, you analyze it, it finds all the peaks and valleys. And this one, I don't want to get it too, I want to make it, so these purple lines are where should I cut this audio. I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to have it separate them. I'm going to probably actually make it, no, this looks good. That looks good. I'm going to have it conform those to the grid. Also, you can add a little bit of swing. How much swing, though? The numbers are weird. No, not that much. Huh. What if I put 0 swing? Does that just... No, that's wrong. Okay, hang on. Capture. Why is it doing this all funny? Take the swing off. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, so on the swing, I think I did it about 10%. So let's do that. Remember, I put a little bit of swing on the drum pieces in Machine. So it cut them up. So now it cut them up and put it on the grid with a little bit of swing. And then you can do edit smoothing, and it's going to smooth out those little bits and pieces. And then I have to check it to make sure that if there's any like clips or anything, then I fix those. So let me do that real quick. Did you hear that this little noise? You don't want that. So you gotta go in and fix it. And I'm not gonna go crazy with this. Anybody who's ever edited drums or knows anything about recording and editing drums knows that this is the most tedious process. I'm not gonna do it all crazy. I'm just gonna get it listenable, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is take this thing that I made, which I'm now pretty happy with. I'm going to do yet another playlist so I don't lose. I can go back to this one that I just did. What's this here? Okay, so that's our ending if we want to use it. Take this bit and put it there, and this bit and put it there. All right, now that that's been like basically put on the grid, I'm going to put it in the place where I imagined it when we were in Ableton. Way back when we were in Ableton, I imagined it here. So now it's on the grid, it's locked in, everything's hitting at the same time. On the grid, in the track. Now I'm gonna mess with the parts and with the mix a little bit on this. Where's my crash? What happened to the crash that I grabbed? I grabbed a kick and crash. Let's find it. Is this it? Nope. Let's find it on the original track. That's why we playlist. So you playlist so that you can go back and go, this is what I want, this one right here. I need that, and I didn't erase it. In Ableton, you can't do that. Once you've kind of like done these destructive moves, they're gone. And here I can grab pieces and go back to my other playlists. Okay. I can take this and put it more on the beat. I can take this one too and do the same. All right, and we should be good. If you've ever heard people complain about or talk about sessions like losing their life, like turning into, a lot of times you get this argument about people overcorrecting. You'll hear a lot of artists when they're talking about making music. You'll hear people talk about overcorrecting a performance. So, for example, if you had a drummer who's, if I was recording Rob Borden, with Rob, I probably, especially on something like this, I'd probably want him to play the thing really, really well, and I would want to do as little of this stuff that I'm doing right here, as little of this as possible. That way, you really get the feel of him playing the drums. A lot of young people who are less experienced in recording will go in and record their, metal bands do this all the time. They record their stuff and then they tighten edit and tighten up. And then everything just sounds like a VST. It sounds like a key, a sample. Like it sounds like, you remember I was on the other sessions, I've used those drums that are coming from the keyboard. I don't like it when you take a live performance and you tighten it up so much that it turns into keyboard. I mean, inherently there's something looser about the way, you know, because I'm not like a drummer. There's something looser about the way this performance sounds versus that thing. For those of you guys who are interested in some of this nerdy drum stuff though, and recording, let's do some stuff to make these sound even better. Okay, so right now we've got I feel like a decent drum sound recording in the room. Okay, sounds like drums. Doesn't sound super exciting. It just sounds like live drums. I'm gonna put on some just EQ. I already preset some of these because I know this room really well, recording it all the time. I've got some preset EQ and compression. Okay. So we're going to immediately start to hear the difference. So you're going to say, well, what are you doing? Switch screen, please. Actually, I wasn't showing you anything interesting. What I will show you is the following, though. On the kick, a little Neve EQ. This one is a universal audio plugin. On the rest of these tracks, I have either an SSL EQ and compressor or a Neve EQ and compressor. All UAD, which is a company that makes plugins, Universal Audio. The only exception being the one on that mono vocal mic. I just have an EQ, Pro Q EQ. And now I'm going to take all those drum tracks and I'm going to send them to a single left and right channel of drums. Ooh, yikes! I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to, let's see here. This off. So this is Kramer PIE compressor. Got a little bit of grit on here, a little bit of distortion, decapitator. Here's what it sounds like. But I've turned it down. So you just get a little bit of that. And then this Fairchild compressor, which you guys have seen me use on drums before. Use a lot less of that. It's a little hot. Maybe a little more here. Now I've also run the kick and snare and overheads out to a couple reverbs, and I'm going to choose one of these that I've got here. Just a little bit of that one. Let's see what's better, this one or this one. I like the other one. Okay, here it is in the track. Now I can't hear it so much, so I'm going to actually use a little more of the room sound. little more of the reverb. This guy's too bright. All right, cool. So now we got live drums. So backing up. Oh, maybe I want to use that little hi-hat. I had like a little hi-hat. I played a little hi-hat towards the end there. Where was that? Is that this one? Yeah, let's use a little bit of that in the other spot. I just treat them like samples that I got off a record at this point. And for those of you into Pro Tools, you can hit Tab if you have the, where's the thing? So there's a selection box up in the upper left-hand corner right here. It shows an arrow moving towards a waveform. You can press Tab and it will jump. So you can see my cursor. If I place it over here, if I press Tab, then it'll jump to that first waveform. And that's a nice way to just jump in and separate your clip and put it on the grid, or just jump to the spot where you want to work. Okay, I'm going to make that into a new wave. Consolidate. So we got live hi-hat going on in there. Maybe I want to just do this real quick. All right. What instrument should we add next? Interesting sound, guitar, piano, do live piano, set up in the other room. Juno, saxophone. Unfortunately, I don't play saxophone. You want piano? All right. go set it up. And now I think we're ready. 10, okay. 9, 10, good. All right, so now I'll go play. Hi. Whoa. Yeah. Can I hear myself? Oh, I can hear. That's nice. So this is the piano. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit here. And my headphones. Okay, I'm gonna turn this thing on. Hi. How are you? How's everybody? Booty back to the office. That's true. Couple cool piano bits. I just like this one little hit over here, if I remember right. Not sure about this. Maybe. Old Dre. Say old Dr. Dre. I'm gonna put a little compressor or something. I think I need a little volume on this. These guys are all these UAD plugins are really good. They're pricey, but there's a reason they're pricey. Let's see here. One thing that's nice about the difference between the plugins. So you've seen me mess around with plugins that change the EQ that look like waveforms on the bottom, and there's a line, and then that linear EQ is a visual EQ, right? So you can see where you're messing around. One thing about these that's nice is you can't see it, so you have to rely on your ears. So with the piano, for example, if I'm doing this, right? If this is the piano part, oh, oops, EQ in. Here, I'll just do it on a part and then make it really obvious. Wait a minute. Okay, so I gotta use my ears and find the spots that I want it to kind of resonate. And I also want to turn up, I want to put some compression on it. I don't want the low end to be ringing like that. Hi. Oh, we have raiders? Who's raiding? Who's raiding us right now? Hello, raiders. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. We're just making a little jammy jam. What you missed is made some things in Ableton, made some things in Machine, got on the drums, played some drums, played some piano. I just set up the guitar. I'll do some guitar on this and then call it a day. How's that sound? What is my guitar input? I don't even remember. Control room mics, bathroom mic? No. No. I don't remember what my live room guitar situation is. 1 second. All right, so we're just going to run it into the fractal and the pedal board because I can't mess around with this stuff today. All right, a little guitar. Messing around with a lot of the different like pieces of the studio, but kind of behind the scenes. So I've been rerouting a couple things and replugging things in. And I know I've posted on my Instagram sometimes like pictures of me like within a mess of chords. That's kind of what I was up to. So right now I even have the amp in the other room like set up and ready to go. I just have to like figure out where the cables of the microphones are leading, which I don't want to waste your time with. So instead we're just going to use the fractal. nice little like octave distorted tone. A hog. Actually, I should call it verby guitar, so I know. Guitar verb usually means it's the reverb that goes on the guitar. I don't want to confuse myself. new sound. Oh, let's do a left and right. It's a 13. Oh, there's my hint at where the patch cable is located. All right. This guy off. Guy on. Okay, let's do that. It's a little pitchy. I don't like it's pitchy. Okay, bedtime. There we go. Finally. Much and do the other side, and that will be our guitars. So one's gonna go on the left, one's going on the right, and I'm gonna record the one on the left. And I didn't name that last track. That's okay. That guitar is so loud. It's really so loud. Let's turn it down. Let's go back earlier and listen to the whole thing and see how extreme it is when the guitars come in, because it's going to be really too much. What's the point of the demo? It's the point, just to experience it, play around from the top. I like the little koto thing. Extreme guitars out of nowhere. down. One of your favorites? This was one of your favorites? Why? Was it one of your favorites because of the live drums and the guitars? Well, thank you for watching. You guys like guitars so much. You like guitars. You'll like it even better if I just do this. Ha ha ha. All right, stop spamming the chat. Stop spamming, you people. All right, gonna turning that down. Hi. All right. Yeah, the Koto was a little jam, wasn't it? The Koto was the shit. Thanks you guys for picking out those sounds. Those were a lot of fun. Fun jam. Gonna look at some of our questions real quick and then we're gonna take off. Questions today. We've got see, you guys already filled them back up. Panda Ninja 2014 says, how do you feel about hands held high nowadays? A lot of you guys have been retweeting links to that song because of the current state of affairs. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, timely, definitely appropriate. Let's see, Cactus Forest says, how are you? You recently said the promises I can't keep felt like my own version of a Linkin Park song. Since it wasn't performed on your solo tour, would you consider performing it with the band? It's a good question. I think it'd be up to the band. I have, usually when it comes to decisions about the set or what, to do on stage, there's like we kind of talk it out. It's not just like, I don't just go in and say, here's, no one of us would just go in and say, here's what we're doing. Yeah. Pieseja, Pieceja, Peaceja, I don't know. I just want to thank you for everything. Help me through, what just happened to my screen? Music really helped me through some dark times and become the person I am today. The streams are so relaxing. Thanks for being thoughtful and open-minded. Thank you. That is really nice. It is enjoyable for me as well. The streams. Koizu asks, do you always prepare a set of sounds and plugins when you start a session to set some kind of frame, or is that just for streams? Both. I mean, sometimes I do it. I always do it for streams just so I don't waste your time, because it's hard to listen to somebody pick through sounds like bleep, blop, bleep, blop for like who knows how long it's going to take to get a palette of sounds. But when I'm doing tracks, I'll do that too. I don't usually have ones that I just pull up and go, oh, okay, like some people do that where they just pull up the same folder of things that's their current favorite things. That's nice in a writing session, because then you're just jumping in with stuff that is, that works and it's cool. Only problem with that is you get potentially stuck into the same sounds. So if you're writing with somebody else, an artist that, if you're producing for another artist and then you bring in a kind of like standard sounds folder, and then you make a song, and then the artist gets really married to those sounds, then you're kind of stuck with these, like, you know, whether they are kind of stock sounds or they're kind of like sounds you've used a bunch of times. Getting stuck with those kind of stuff. Mad Mike LP says, thank you for letting me play Roads Untraveled in Hamburg with you. Dream come true. Who wrote the lyrics and who wrote the melodies? Roads Untraveled would be me. I think I wrote most of that. I know I wrote... Yeah, I think I wrote most of that one. Maybe not the whole thing, but that was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the ones that I did. I even did like most of the drums on that one, which was unusual. It was a mix of live. I remember that the drums were a mix of live, but you asked about lyrics and melodies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did all the lyrics and melodies on that one. Let's see here. Apura. Okay, APURAVKHARE. I don't know how to pronounce that. How much, if at all, do reviews from people outside the band, like even maybe even critics, affect your songwriting? They don't affect the songwriting so much. They affect my mood. But sometimes there's some good constructive criticism from people about things like shows or something like that. But usually an album, by the time we put out an album, we're pretty confident about what we made, and I don't usually get too wrapped up. Like, what's the point really in getting wrapped up in like critical response to an album after you've already released it? Like, that's just like masochistic. I don't, you know, we won't be, if I were to put out an album, it won't be over a year before I put out another one, maybe like 2 years. Sometimes it's been 5. Like, I wouldn't let those comments like affect me for 5 years. Make sense? Like, that would be weird. Unless I just see an idea that I go, oh, that's a good point. But for the most part, I don't really pay too much attention. I just think that's like, would be hard on my psyche. Hannah Shinbun asks, hi, or says, hey, Mike, you described the fans as wombats. I'm curious what special qualities wombats and your fans have in common. None. It was strictly a like spur of the moment joke, and you guys have latched onto it. So if you decide at one point to not be wombats anymore, then that is up to you. Hannah Shinbun. Hannah Shinbun. Hannah Shinbon. What is that? Boon. No, I want to be baboon. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Boon is still on my island. Shinbon. Why is it B-O-O-N then? Oh, it's B-U-N. Shinbon. Shinodasaurus says, what do you think is the most challenging yet most rewarding part of being a musician? Challenging and rewarding. Well, we were just talking about the mental, like, aspect of it. That's challenging and rewarding. And the schedule of being away, that's a rough part. Yeah, you know. I think, yeah. I think those are the two top things. It's hard. We talked a lot about like mental, keeping yourself like positive and keeping yourself like when you make something that you really like and you put it out, and no matter what, there are trolls. No matter what, there are people who say they hate it. Like one of my favorite records that we did was 1,000 Suns, if not my favorite one, and it was received all the reviews were by fans and critics. Well, the critical reception was generally was a little more negative than the fan reception, but the fan reception itself was 1 star or 5 stars. It was either everyone's favorite album we made, or they hated it and they were so mad at us. Wasn't that the era where somebody said, this album is a slap in the face for Linkin Park fans? It's like, okay, really? First of all, you take yourselves too seriously. You take this whole thing too seriously. Second of all, this is like our art and like our creation. Like we weren't trying to be like, to make, I don't know, pop top 20 hits. Like there were songs on it that we thought would do well, but it was like, so to get into the whole thing and make it about themselves as opposed to, or make it about like their own personal little, thing, as opposed to we're the guys who have to put our name on the, like, whose name is on the marquee on the venue. Like hearing people talk shit about it was difficult. It's always difficult. Ali on a Kite, Shinoda Bucks says research has shown that 20% of people don't like their names. How do you like your name? And if not Mike, which name would you prefer besides Meek and Miguelito? I'm fine with my name. I don't hate my name. I don't know 20% of people don't like their names. Maybe they need to ask themselves, why don't you like yourself? Clara Oswald 1211 says, Mike, who's your favorite Disney princess? Disney princess? Whichever ones were the ones that aren't like Prince come save me, I'm a helpless whatever. Ariel was like one of the best designed, like drawn. The drawing of Ariel is awesome, but the story of Ariel kind of sucks. Because she's just like hopelessly running around after a guy and they don't even know each other and then they get married. Yay, good story. Good story sucks. Mulan was dope. I think like Mulan was dope. Tangled was dope. Rapunzel was dope. Moana. Fuck yeah. Moana was great. I did watch all of these movies, part of it because I have kids. Not Anon says, I'm trying to get into learning how to use Machine for writing songs, and I have a Machine Jam. Do you think the Jam alone is sufficient, or should I get a MK3 as well? I think I've used both. I do use both. Sometimes just for like, to keep things fresh, I will take a Jam out instead of a MK3 in my backpack on a plane or whatever. They're both great, so you don't have to get one or the other. The only benefit to this, one of the benefits to this, major benefit to this unit as opposed to the one you've got, is that this one has pressure controlled buttons. So like you can, like if I tap it lightly, it plays quiet. If I tap it hard, it plays hard, and then you can turn that on or off. It's also got really good functionality with like the way you move around a song. But the Jam just has, it's good, but it's different. That's all. Kren V or Kren 5, Kren V says it's Sophia 1105's birthday 5 days ago. Happy birthday, Sophia. 5 days ago. I hope you had a great day. GB Matani says, how did LP decide to do show encores? It was usually just a part of the show. I mean, we never expected to go out on stage again, and it was always so special and unexpected when fans applauded and we did an encore. The encores at this point are just, I mean, it's just a part of a headline show. Every single headline show you go to, they will do an encore. If they don't, they're making a statement about encores, which I think is fine, but also kind of like overthinking it. LVX Bomb says, hey Mike, what's your favorite childhood memory? I don't tell you favorite childhood memory. I will tell you the first one that pops into my head is, we were talking about this the other day. One time when this is not a favorite, actually let me give you a favorite, because there was, that's confusing. Favorite. We used to make these, like, me and my friend used to make these like kung fu videos. We would do, we would shoot the video footage. To do it, you'd have to shoot it in, we'd shoot it. Have you ever seen the old kung fu movies where everything is like a little sped up and the mouths don't like fit with the, it's like they're speaking in Japanese or Chinese, and then they overdub it with like American words, and their mouth moves for a really long time, and then the English is like either too short or too long. So we would do like these old martial arts videos, and we would like fake fight, and then we'd record it all, and then basically play it back with like our finger on the fast forward button. So we'd do it so that it was like very, I don't think we ever got to the point where we could do it in black and white, but we did that, and we overdubbed words over it. Super funny. Now it'd be so easy to do with like an iPad and iMovie, but back then the technology didn't exist. Okay, couple more questions. Stage 4 Fear says, what's your favorite coffee? I usually drink, like, I've been ordering from Blue Bottle Coffee. They've got like a monthly subscription, and I just do their single origin, usually the single origin coffees, and then I'll like get like wanting to spice it up, and then I'll do blends and stuff. But they've got a bunch of options there. They're pretty good. It's all drip coffee. I do it in like a Chemex situation. Heat up the water, pour it. Let's pour over. Quambaz says, hey Meek, hope you're doing well. Do you guys go for vocal lessons or learn from experience? Both. And vocal lessons are good for you, not only to get better at singing, but you doing the techniques. Usually the techniques they'll teach you in a vocal lesson will have you warmed up before a show, and like if you're doing a lot of shows, the part of the focus is on using your voice the right way so you don't wear it out, so you don't lose your voice. And yeah, knock on wood, I mean, mine, it was a big step for me going from, you know, shorter shows to longer shows, and then from adding singing to the shows. And then on post-traumatic, I was going from like sharing vocal duties with Chester to doing a, you know, full set where I was doing it the whole time. And I was actually very nervous about that, because that's potentially twice as much singing, rapping, and using my voice. So I thought, oh shit, like my voice could go out all the time. And it was really like worn out, but it was never, I never lost it. So that's good. I would, yeah, but I recommend them. And if you feel like, and really like one of the main things that I learned with vocal lessons is to do your warm-ups. If you, maybe they'll teach you cool downs too. Think of it like working out. Like you would want to do a warm-up and a stretch afterwards so that you don't pull a muscle. Kind of like that. I want to do one last one. All right, Panda Ninja 2014 says, back in the days when you were when you were driving the tour bus, how many times did you get lost? P.S. No more fro questions, but I promise but I promise. Oh, I promise. But say hi to Brad from his fan club, please. Will do. We got lost a bit. Back then, when we were driving the RV, it was not a bus but an RV, and I drove like more than the other guys, but we all split it. Actually, I shouldn't say we all split it. Joe, Chester, and I drove. Brad and Rob generally did not. Phoenix wasn't with us when we did those tours. And I feel like I got pretty good at driving it. I mean, anytime you drive, you get a new car, and have you ever gotten a new car and felt like it's really way too big, like it's too big, or you don't know where the edges of it are? Felt like that on an extreme version of that, like getting in an RV and trying to drive it around. But yeah, like I remember we went into DC one time, and I was like, I managed to drive the RV around a corner. There were cars on every corner, on every street, and there was a dumpster with a whole bunch, like a huge fat dumpster in our way to get to the venue, and there was a cop car. And I remember we were all, there were guys out of the windows on every corner and of the vehicle trying to make sure that I didn't hit anything. And like I was like inches from every edge, and I managed to get the whole thing. We were screaming when I got through the thing, and didn't hit anything. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, that's the last question. We are tomorrow. I should pick a thing. Let me pick out of the bowl, and then we're done. I gotta go. Anna just showed up. Hi, Anna. You're telling me I gotta go? We have to go. I have to go. Just hang on. Okay, so here's what we got for tomorrow. Oh God, right away. Wild card, Misty Jasper sounds. Great. Let me just grab a couple of these here. What are these? Okay. Fernanda Souza wants Brazilian Bossa Nova. And Katie Don't wants Billie Eilish Phineas sounds. Oh boy. So Billie Eilish Phineas Brazilian Bossa Nova with sounds from my dog. Whew. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Oh yeah. What about a raid? We got a raid. Let's raid Jericho. He's just chatting. Should we do that? No, I want to raid him when he's playing. Otherwise, he might yell at you. No, you can go chat with him. All right, we're raiding Jericho. Bye.